Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Miska.
And welcome to Overwatch Central. So literally in about 48 hours, the open beta will begin, and it's already the end of the closed beta. So we kind of wanted to make a video sort of talking about it as a whole. Not just sort of for the channel's sake, but overall, was the closed beta a success for Blizzard and the Overwatch team? We want to go over a couple of things, but the general answer is yes, but some things could have been done differently. It's worth adding at the start of this video to sort of preface it that this is just our opinions and our feelings on the beta. We do a lot of guides and stuff basically explaining and trying to tell you how to play the game and what advice we would give, but these kind of videos are just generally how we feel personally. We are interested in what you think, and we definitely don't think that we are completely right with what we say. Whether you got into the beta or not, we are interested, so do let us know in the comments below whether you think the beta could have gone differently, and if so, what would you change if you were Jeff Kaplan and had your final say on the game. It's just an open discussion, this is what we think. It's a good time to talk about it since it's the sort of end of Overwatch, so do let us know what you're thinking.
So we have a few different topics that we want to touch on in terms of the closed beta. The first one being size. And this is talked about quite a lot and has been throughout the entire closed beta and the development process of Overwatch, really. They did say to begin with that they wanted to keep it a smaller beta, more exclusive beta, and make it more traditional, so to say. And they did exactly that. Because of the game being so exclusive and people being annoyed that some people that had access didn't make as much use of it as they would, it also became a sort of want what you can't have situation. If the closed beta opened up to everyone, you'll get what you had with Heroes of the Storm, for example, where everybody who wanted a game was in the beta already, pretty much. Then when the game actually launched, it had no real effect, nothing really changed. So Blizzard probably wanted to be more traditional in that sense because they wanted to keep the game just out of reach for people to keep them interested and enticed about it. It's similar to what we've seen on Steam with the early access games on there, where games have stayed in early access and in alpha and so on for a long time, and people have played them over that time, so when they actually get finished, if they are finished, it doesn't really change the situation of the game, nor popularity at all.
This is a double-edged sword though. With giving content creators to get to the closed beta, it also opened up opportunities for people like us. I don't know what the channel would have done if we didn't get into Overwatch beta, so in that sense it's very much a double-edged sword. Maybe streamers and content creators aren't the best people to invite just because they kind of play a game, a week or so they change to another game and kind of forget about it, but at the same time it enabled people making Overwatch content exclusively to really focus on that. So of course we are very grateful to Blizzard for that opportunity, but we do agree that the beta should have probably opened up a bit more. On that subject, we want to talk about the open beta weekends and generally the beta waves since the launch. First of all, we feel that it's been severely underwhelming, the open beta weekends at least, especially the second one. We understand that the lack of maps was an issue because they really wanted to stress test it, but at the same time, we feel that they could sort of push this out a little bit more. It'll be interesting to see if the game runs into any problems with open beta with the fact that all of the maps and heroes can be played. At the start of the closed beta there were frequent waves and some were fairly big as well, but there was a point where we stopped seeing them. The beta population didn't really increase and it kinda stopped, which of course caused problems with matchmaking down the line. Many people asked for sort of stuff like offline training and bot games to open up to more players, but we feel like this wasn't done for the reasons we mentioned when talking about size. The traditional beta worked for Blizzard because it allowed them to really focus on the game dynamics with a small audience, but it also kept people interested because they couldn't play the game. It's why we still see a lot of hype for Overwatch now. If the beta was open to a lot more people by the time the game launched, similar to Heroes of the Storm like we touched on earlier, people just wouldn't care as much. This is a hot new IP for Blizzard and they want to make sure that it gets all the traction that it can get, and unfortunately that means keeping some people out of the closed beta for now, which we don't necessarily agree with, but we kind of understand it from a business perspective.
So now to something a bit more sort of lighter and not as heavily discussed in terms of the controversy around it and questions raised. We've seen lots of fantastic content in the beta, lots of new features, maps, game modes, skins and so on, and we've all loved it. We've kind of expected it, I guess, because Blizzard are known for this sort of stuff So the content was great, but it was also very frequent. Every fortnight basically we had new maps or game modes or something new to have a look at. The frequent buffs and nerfs to heroes really showed that the devs were listening to the audience and still are, and were taking a proactive approach to changing heroes, even with a top-down sort of approach. Feedback together with statistics from testing made all of this possible, and we've heard the developers thank all the testers many times. But even the constant discussion on Reddit definitely contributed to a better game in the end. Every patch made the game feel more whole, and even though people argued that it was weird to have such a closed beta for a game that felt almost finished back in Phase 1, most people we played Overwatch with back then agreed, but when Phase 2 hit and loads of new content was added to the game, I think everyone got a better feel of what the developers are aiming for with Overwatch.
So overall, was the closed beta a success for Blizzard? Well, as far as a beta goes, then yes, it was a resounding success. They managed to sort a lot of problems with the game, listened to the community, and created a better game at the end of the beta than at the start. We do think that the PR work with giving certain content creators and influencers access who would quickly replace the game and stop playing it might have been a mistake and could probably have been handled a little bit better. The beta could have also been opened up a lot more to people that were interested. The open beta weekends were few and far between, and we definitely understand that people felt like Blizzard were almost taunted them with not giving them access. I think we all kind of knew that this was never the case, but Overwatch's closed beta and development process has certainly been different from most. The impact that community discussion, bug reports and general feedback has had is fantastic for the game and the community, and it does really feel that we have helped Overwatch become a better game together. Thank you very much for watching. Do like this video if you want us to go over more topics like this, and again, if you do have any ideas of discussion, do let us know in the comments below and we might talk about these in future videos. Subscribe for more Overwatch content, and until next time, take care and we will see you in the open beta.